Hey guys, so I'm out on my lunch break real quick. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not feeling the greatest today, so my apologies if I seem a little out of it, but seems there's some sort of, I don't know if it's a flu or sickness going through our office here, and I'm really hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, that I'm not coming down with something, because right now I feel kind of like a truck hit me. Stomach isn't feeling great, so we'll hopefully make it through that without any issues. But I just went out because I was looking around over lunch, and it's kind of one of these days. It's like my least favorite time of year to take photographs in the spring, where the snow is melting, there's just water and everything's just kind of brown and blech. There's not a lot catching my eye and not a lot leaving me feel super inspired with my photographs. And was driving around a little bit on a few little side roads real close to work because I don't have a lot of time, and I happened to see up over here that we've got some breaks in the clouds happening because it's very overcast, which you can probably see behind me. And over here, which I shot a quick video clip of some trees and things, but I wanted to just take a minute and kind of share what I was seeing with you guys here. And it's really kind of cool. I was wishing I had some more time and other gear with me. Right now I've got just my X100T, which comes with me everywhere I go, and making some pictures with that, but kind of wishing I had my tripod and other lenses with me. In fact, a nice either my 56 or else that 55 to 200 lens would be perfect here, because I'm seeing an image over here, but I just don't have a lens to be able to capture it, and unfortunately I can't just move closer, because I think this image would be really cool, because there's some just a small group of trees sticking up over the fence. I'm kind of on the backside of our local airport here, on some of their backside runways that don't see as much use, and there's a big huge fence around the whole thing, of course, like a 10-foot 12-foot fence or more, and that's kind of ugly for a picture. But the scene that's happening just above it, I'm really wishing I could get in and get a little tighter view of it, because these trees are coming up and they're being kind of silhouetted against these clouds that are real dark, kind of that blue storm cloud look, bluish slate gray, and they're breaking up, so you're seeing the puffiness of the clouds through there, and behind it you're seeing some textures of light as it's kind of cracking through some other clouds in there, so you're getting a little hint of like the golden kind of yellowish colors and things like that surrounded by the blues. It's just a really kind of neat color palette right now. And so it's one of those times where, you know, of course it's always nice to think you'll have the gear you need with you all the time, but the reality is, you know, for most of us, we don't carry around every single piece of gear we have everywhere we go every day. And so we just try and make do with what we've got. So I'm trying to see if I can find an image with that. Not sure it's going to work, but it brought to mind a thought, you know, of just kind of a simple thought for today, and that revolves around gear. And you know, the old saying, made, you know, most famous probably recently by Chase Jarvis a number of years ago, was that the best camera is the one that's always with you. Well, that's what I've got with me today, my Fuji X100T, and I'm trying to make an image here, and it's just technical limitation kind of stopping me a little bit. I did take a few photos, and I'm hoping to be able to make something work there as far as doing a little cropping. Won't be anything that'll be able to be blown up real high res, and quite honestly, it's not a picture that if I don't get it, I'm gonna, you know, it's the end of the world. It's just something that was kind of cool, and I was wishing I had more gear. But I was kind of curious to hear more from you guys as far as, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Number one, do you carry a camera with you all the time, or do you rely just on your phone or things like that? And you know, how do you think that's changed photography for you by always having an actual camera of some sort with you? Do you notice a benefit from that? Do you feel like you get more shots? Do you feel like you miss shots? Or you know, I know there's days for me where I'll carry a camera around and I try and take pictures, you know, often. Maybe not every single day, but I try and always find something that catches my eye. But I always like to have a camera with me just in case something comes up. But there's stretches that'll go 2, 3 days, 4 days where I carry my camera bag around with my X100T and then my phone recording gear, and I may not take a single picture at all for a couple days, and that's okay. I mean, no one says I have to make a picture every day. I'm not doing a 365 project or anything like that. But some days I end up feeling like I'm just kind of lugging my gear around just to lug it around. But the day I leave it at home is the day I'm going to see the most amazing image with some kind of crazy weather, or an awesome scene, or a snowstorm, or something cool I come across. And I always like to just have it with me, because I'd rather have it. These little cameras like the Fuji and things like that, they're really so small. It's not hard to take this small one around. Now with my main gear, I mean, that's all small gear, but there's a lot of it, and so I'm not going to lug a big backpack around every day. But so the first question is, like I said, do you guys carry your gear with you all the time, or at least some sort of camera? If you do, how does that impact your photography? And then on the little more tech side, little more gear side, I'd be curious to know what you guys opt in to carry. If you do carry a camera around, what kind of things do you normally take with you? So it's one of those things where, no real reason behind it. It's not super important. There's no wrong answer, but there's just the curiosity side of me that is wondering what everyone else chooses. Do you change your gear up from day to day, or do you kind of have one set piece of equipment that you take with you all the time? Maybe it is just your phone, and that's awesome. I did that for a long time, especially as the cameras in the iPhones got so much better. If you look back a ways on my Instagram feed, you'll find that 99% of everything, until I got into Fuji, 100% of everything was all just my phone. And I had it with me all the time. I took it with me. I would carry my Nikon gear a little bit here and there, but it was a lot bigger and a lot more cumbersome, and it really got in the way. And that was a setup where I truly felt like I was just lugging gear around just to say I had it with me, and that's not worth it. So I just took the pictures with my phone and left the Nikon gear at home. So that's kind of the thought for today. I'm going to try and see if I can get a capture of this scene a little more. I'll maybe spin the camera on and show you what I'm talking about, pointing out on my finger, so you'll see that mysterious finger pointing out some things on the screen. Audio in those situations is never great because the microphone is facing the other way. So we'll see what we get there, and I'm going to let you guys go so I can get back to work. So over here is the scene I'm talking about, and you can see that those clouds up there are kind of breaking, and there's a nice little bank as they're coming around. And so I'm just going to point out a few things, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So like I said, you can probably see that fence in there, but that's the trees I was talking about and that sky breaking behind them. So I'm going to try and make another image or two, and we'll see how that goes. It's kind of a cool scene, nothing spectacular, nothing groundbreaking, but something to shoot for today. So again, you guys take care and have a good evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.